Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be solving LeetCode 56, merge intervals. So we're given an array of intervals where the interval at the ith position holds an interval where the first element is the start and the second element is the end. And basically what an interval is, it's like a range of values. So anything between 1 and 3, anything between 2 and 6. And we have to merge overlapping intervals. So in this case, 1 and 3 and 2 and 6 are overlapping because this ends at 3 and this starts at 2. So 3 is going to cross over into the other interval. And since these are crossing over, we have to merge them into one interval into 1 and 6. So to solve this, we can use an approach where we sort all of the data by the first value in each subarray, and that's going to be the start value. The reason we have to sort the data, although this may look like it's sorted and it is, not every problem is going to have sorted data because it's not specified here. So we're going to sort it and then we're going to merge our data. So since we are going to be sorting this array, our solution cannot be better than n log n. And the solution that I'm going to show is going to have a result variable. Therefore, we also are going to be storing, in the worst case, all of the intervals in the array. So our space complexity is going to be n. So let's get into the explanation now. We're going to have a result variable, and we're actually going to initialize, and let me just sort this array before we start. So our array is sorted based on the start values in the intervals, and we're going to have a result variable, and we're going to put the first element in it, and we're actually going to start iterating from the second element in the array. So let's just pretend this is our result down here. And at every iteration, we're going to grab the last element in our result array. So the result is holding an array of intervals, and we're going to grab the last interval in the result variable, which currently is the first interval that we added. And we're going to look at the end value in that interval, and we're going to look at the start value in the current interval, and we're going to compare it. And if they are overlapping, we are going to merge them. And in this case, this is supposed to be A3, so I'll just fix that. And in this case, they are overlapping. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to compare the end values of both of the intervals, and we're going to turn these current result one to the larger of the two. So we have 3 and 6, and 6 is larger, so this is actually going to become 6, and then we're just going to keep iterating. I know this may look weird conceptually, but we're not actually modifying the actual input array, so I'm just going to keep this here so there's no confusion. We're just creating a result array. And then we're going to move on to the next one. So we have 8 and 10, and we're basically going to compare 8 and 6, and they're not overlapping. So we can move on to the next one. And then we get to 15 and 6, and they're not overlapping. And before we move on to the next element, we're actually going to add this to the result, and this one's not overlapping either, so we can add it to our result. And after that, we're pretty much done. And I just realized that I did mention previously that the space complexity will be O of n, but technically, since we are returning this as our result array, we could just say that it is constant, and therefore we don't have to use any extra memory. This is going to be the memory that we are returning. we're going to start off by sorting our input array called intervals, and we can use that using the sort function in Python. And then we're going to initialize our result array, and we're going to put the first interval in our input into our result array. Then we're going to iterate through every value in intervals, and we can extract the left and right values, so the start and the end basically in the intervals. But since we already added the first interval into our result, we don't have to look at it again, and we can just start from the second element using slice. And now we're going to check if our left or our start in the current interval is less than or equal to. So this basically checks if it's overlapping. If it's less than or equal to, that means we are going to merge them. And we're going to check the end value of the last interval in our result array. And if it is, this is how we're going to merge it. We're going to set the end value of the last value in our result array, and we're going to set it to the max of the two end values. So R and the last value in the result array. Otherwise, if they're not overlapping, we can just add the current interval to our result. And after that, we're pretty much done, and we can just return our result. Looks like it worked. It's pretty efficient. This is going to run in n log n time complexity because we are sorting, and we're going to have constant space complexity or extra space complexity because we're only using the result to store our result, and it's not count as extra space. Thanks for watching.